I just want to tell y'all I'll be home soon. R.I.P. Keon. I love my family.
Dant Wright sat in court smiling and laughing, openly mocking the victim's grieving family as they wept. His complete lack of remorse stunned everyone in the courtroom. The callousness of his behavior, laughing in the face of such pain, left a lasting impression, highlighting the emotional toll on those seeking justice for a tragedy that forever changed their lives.
Smile, and laugh, and shake your head like this was no big deal. You'll go to prison for the rest of your life. That means you'll die there.
Dant Wright sat in court smiling, laughing, and shaking his head, as if the tragedy unfolding before him was no big deal. Even as the victim's family cried just feet away, he showed no remorse. This is the case of a teenager so detached from reality that he truly believed he'd be out of jail soon and back on the streets. In October 2016, the quiet city of Ann Arbor, Michigan, was shaken by the senseless killing of 18-year-old Jordan Cieli, a promising high school senior with dreams of a bright future. One night, Jordan never made it home. His life was taken during a robbery gone wrong, planned by three teens: Dant Wright, Delredu Gracie, and Jarius Ellison. The plan was to lure Jordan in, rob him, and flee. But it spiraled into violence, and Jordan was killed. His devastated family was left to mourn a future stolen in an instant. Police quickly identified the suspects, and Dant Wright was arrested and charged with crimes that could lock him away for life. But even then, he didn't seem to grasp the seriousness of what he'd done. While others in his position might express regret, Wright maintained a smug demeanor throughout, grinning in court as if untouchable. Eventually, he accepted a plea deal, admitting guilt to second-degree murder in exchange for avoiding the harshest possible sentence. Yet, the damage was done, not just by the crime itself, but by the cold way he carried himself through the entire process. To the public, and especially to Jordan's grieving family, it wasn't just about justice, it was about decency. And in their eyes, Wright had none. No sentence could undo the loss, but his complete lack of remorse made an already devastating tragedy feel even more painful.
Homicide case, you would agree to serve 23 to 50 years in Michigan Department of Corrections plus 2 on the felony firearm. How do you want to plead to counts 2, 3, 6, and 7?
I'm pleading guilty.
As a result of that armed robbery, what did you do with that gun in Mr. Jordan's plea?
Shot him.
And where did you shoot him?
On the top of Isaiah.
People are satisfied.
The plea deal gave Dant Wright a sentence ranging from 23 to 50 years in prison, a significant portion of his life, but not a life sentence. For the Cieli family, accepting the deal was incredibly difficult. It meant that one day, possibly sooner than they could bear to imagine, Wright might walk free. Still, they held on to the hope that at least it meant some form of accountability. But that hope quickly unraveled. In September 2017, the courtroom was filled with grief and tension as the Cieli family prepared to speak about their loss. They came hoping that sharing Jordan's story, his dreams, his laughter, his absence, might bring some closure. Instead, they were met with something far more painful. As they described their sleepless nights and shattered lives, Wright sat just feet away, smiling, whispering, and even laughing. His demeanor showed no sorrow, no empathy. To the family, it was as if their unimaginable pain meant nothing at all, and that realization cut just as deep as their loss.
I wake up hearing my son scream for me, to then have to realize all over again, night after night, my son is dead, gone, taken. For what? Why? Can you answer the question? Why? Why? I have an answer. Your answer will never be good enough. There will never be an answer good enough to satisfy why you shot my son. Why you thought that what you had should be yours. Why you felt that what you wanted, you were entitled to. Why you thought his death was an acceptable response to your jealousy or desire to what he had. Drugs, clothes, money, jewelry, phones, shoes, whatever it was that you felt you needed more than his life. Your why will never be better than his life. Your want will never trump my son's death. You get to live, get to wake up every day. Your life continues. I sincerely hope that whatever it was you wanted so badly that you felt the need to murder my son was worth the next at least 52 years of your continued existence. You won't get the luxury of raising your child because you took mine away.
One family member broke down in tears, overwhelmed by the weight of grief, while Dant Wright sat smirking, like it was all just some twisted performance. After the CLE family finished their heartfelt victim impact statements, laying bare their pain and loss, Wright turned to his defense attorney and asked him to request permission to speak. Judge David Schwartz, perhaps hoping for a moment of accountability, a simple apology, a sign of remorse, or at least a sliver of human decency, granted the request. But what happened next stunned everyone in the courtroom. Instead of offering sympathy or expressing regret, Wright did the unthinkable. He stood up and bragged about how he'd be out of prison soon. His words came off as taunting, almost gleeful, aimed directly at the grieving family sitting just feet away. In a moment meant for closure and healing, Wright chose cruelty, turning the courtroom into a final insult to the pain he had already caused.
Yes, sir. Mr. Wright, what would you like to say?
I just want to tell y'all I'll be home soon. R.I.P. Keon. I love my family.
That's all you got to say.
His words showed no care for Jordan's memory, no sympathy for the CLE family, no respect for the court, and no understanding of the gravity of his actions. Judge David Schwartz had seen enough. Watching Wright's smirks, laughter, and dismissive attitude throughout the hearing, he finally stepped in. Addressing Wright directly, the judge called out his behavior as completely unacceptable. The courtroom fell silent as Schwartz issued a stern warning. If Wright couldn't take the proceedings seriously, the court would consider throwing out the plea deal and sending the case to trial, where the stakes would be even higher.
You know, I have never in 23 years approximately ever not accepted a sentence agreement between the parties because it's bargained for, sentenced by the parties. But watching you sit there, smile and laugh and shake your head like this was no big deal, I'm very tempted to just say, I'm not going to accept this sentence agreement. We'll go to trial, and if you're convicted of felony murder, you'll go to prison for the rest of your life. That means you'll die there. That's what I'm tempted to do.
For the first time, Dant Wright's cocky grin faltered. Judge David Schwartz had wiped the smile off his face, and the courtroom fell into a heavy silence. After addressing Wright's disrespectful behavior, the judge delivered the sentence, 23 to 50 years in prison, a long stretch that would keep Wright behind bars through what should have been the prime of his life. Wright wasn't the only one held accountable. His accomplices, equally reckless on that tragic night, also received lengthy prison terms, ensuring none of them would be free anytime soon. But for the CLE family, no sentence could ever bring Jordan back. They wept openly in court, their grief deepened by the callousness they had witnessed. The community erupted in outrage as news outlets ran headlines about the teen who smiled during sentencing. Videos of the courtroom went viral, sparking debates everywhere. Some argued Wright's behavior revealed a dangerous arrogance and immaturity, proving he was unfit to rejoin society. Others suggested it might have been nervous laughter, an awkward response to an overwhelming moment. Still, for most, Wright's smugness spoke volumes about his true character. The Dant Wright case remains infamous, not just for the crime, but for the courtroom drama that exposed the fragile line between arrogance and accountability. Wright thought he could laugh his way through sentencing, mocking a family shattered by grief, but the judge stepped in and made sure justice was served with full force. What do you think? Was his behavior proof he didn't deserve a second chance, or just misunderstood nervousness? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more real courtroom moments.